You have a lot of followers, but you don't have friends. You would think that it's a shade towards social media influencers, but this actually a line delivered in a movie called Himala, titled Himala or Miracle. It's one of the best movies ever that came out of the Philippines, and one of the best in the world, actually, dare I say. So it was directed by Ishmael Bernal, also one of the best ever directors that came out of the Philippines. May he rest in peace. And it was written by one of my dear friends and also one of the best ever writers to come out of the world, Ricky Lee. And it stars one of the best ever actresses in the world, Nora Honor. She was very young when she did this movie. She had very little lines, but her acting prowess was so good. She acted so well that all she needed was exist. And all of those emotions were flowing out of her. That's how good she was. That's how good she is still. So Himala or Miracle is actually a story of as a girl, a young lady, supposedly saw the Virgin Mary, Mother Mary, the Mother of Christ. And ever since that day, she sort of gained the ability to heal people, so she became a faith healer. And in the movie explored how her healing actually sort of surfaced, forced a lot of pains and diseases and wounds into the surface. So it's sort of an irony. And how that affected the entire community. In the movie, I will not spoil things. I will try my very best not to spoil things, because one of the things that I appreciated when I rewatched the movie, I realized that it was shown 1980 something. So, but you know, decades and decades after, there's not a lot that came out, that there's not a lot of spoiler about the movie, and it's a testament on how people respected the greatness of this movie, that they decided they were going to take part in keeping the sanctity of the movie. See, that's what a great movie can do, can bring out the best in people. So I will also try my very best not to spoil a lot of things. But one of the things that I will encourage you to think about is that if you read the reviews or the summary of the movie in many of the review sites, you will, one thing in common is that they will always say that she's a fake. Elsa, the name of the character in the movie, played by Nora Honor, is a fake. But in this movie, try to step back and actually think about the narrative and what you're seeing, and then ask yourself, did the movie actually say she was a fake? Because I don't want to spoil a lot of things in the movie, I will just go through some of the thought-provoking things that this movie drove me to think. It's so powerful. So the movie, obviously, the story is grounded on a religious thing. Well, Philippines is actually a predominantly Catholic country, so it's very much grounded in a religious premise. But the movie is so profound that many of the questions it posed to me aren't even related to religion. First is that line when she said, you have a lot of followers, but you don't have a lot of friends. Because I thought, well, go social media influencers. It was such a shade towards social media influencers. It's not even, social media didn't even exist at that time. Facebook, the father Friendster, the father of Facebook, it didn't even exist at that time. Maybe the creators of Friendster wasn't even born yet at that time. But it was just, when I heard that movie, it was like, hey, shade to social media influencers. But of course, not all social media influencers are like that. I'm sure a lot of them have good friends, good families, and good values. So, all right, so that's one. Second is that there's this character in the movie who witnessed something horrible happening, and then she was talking, and then after that horrible thing that was happening, he was talking. It was really horrible, and he was talking to somebody, and he said that where was God? Where was the miracle at that moment when this horrible thing was happening, affecting so many people? Where was God? And I thought, the movie actually didn't provide any answer, and the person who was talking with in the movie didn't provide any answer. But I thought, because the movie, just by sheer cinematography and the look in the eyes of the person who was talking with. I saw it. I saw the answer telepathically. So the answer was that it was you, idiot. It was you. The miracle was you. You were witnessing something horrible that was happening and you could have done something about it and you didn't. And it made me think about all these horrible things that was happening, that I'm witnessing. And I'm not just talking about Afghanistan. So I saw this video of this child that was being given to a soldier, a US soldier, so that the child could escape the chaos. And it just made me cry because children is actually my soft spot. And it also made me think about all the other horrible things that I've witnessed. And then in that moment when I was watching the movie, I realized that was me. I was the miracle. I could have done something about it. I was the miracle that was given to all of these people who were experiencing this horrible thing, and I could do something about it, but I didn't, you know. And in that moment, in that movie, that was the answer when he was talking, when he was asking where was the miracle. It's you, idiot. And so maybe as I witness all these horrible things that are happening that make me feel bad and make me question about why, you know, make me ask the why questions, and the answer to that why is me. I am aware. I see it. I'm aware of it. I should do something about it. Next, there's this. Because things have evolved. So from Elsa is the name of the main character played by Nora Onot, and she's a faith healer. Because she was evolving, things were progressing. You know, she was started as a faith healer, but things were progressing, and people around her were evolving as well. Their needs were evolving as the society was evolving, city was changing, and their needs were changing. And a time came when she wasn't anymore able to provide what these people need, and they started questioning her. And I remember, because they started questioning her because she couldn't provide what they needed anymore. And I remember having this conversation with a friend. Unfortunately, I've lost touch with him, but he's a Muslim, and I've always been very curious about people's faith. I don't get into debates. All I do is try and understand where they're coming from. And he knows that, and he appreciates that, he respects that, and he's very, very patient with me when he answers all of my inquiries. So we were having this conversation, and as we were having that conversation, he told me, Allah is Allah, even if I don't like what he's saying. And he said that that's one of the things that I've observed with you, that you're evolving your interpretation of your God's word according to what will fit you. And he said, that's not me. He said, Allah is Allah, regardless of what he says, whether or not I like what he says, whether or not it helps my current agenda, so to speak. And we're, you know, a lot of people are like that. Like, if we're voluntarily doing something that we know is not right, we justify it by adjusting our interpretation of God's word. If you're a Christian, or if you're into that, like if you have a God that you believe in. And when that friend of mine said to me those words, it was just an aha moment. Something clicked. Like, oh wait, yeah. Even if I'm changing, even if my needs are changing, this isn't. His word is his word. That's it. He does not change. And the same thing in this movie is that just because Elsa couldn't provide you with what you need anymore, it doesn't change the fact that she's good. You know, she's doing something good. It's just that you're changing. This is not what you need anymore, but it doesn't change her. Next is that there is this, I think Voltaire was the one who said, if God doesn't exist, it's necessary for us to invent him. In the end, when one of the things that this movie emphasized is, even if Elsa stops, even if Elsa stops healing, and that's the center of that community is taken away, if she stops healing people, and so you know, the center of, so that became the center of the community. So if that center of that community is taken away, people are just gonna come up with something new. It may not be Elsa, but it's gonna be something new, because that's what happened. When she stops, when she decided, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm not giving away anything, believe me. But when she said that, I'm not gonna do it anymore, they just found another God. You know, the same way we do it in us. Like, if this certain obsession that we have, if we lose that, we just look for something new. You know, so we're all addicts. Next is, so when that time, when Elsa decided, I don't want to do this anymore, and let me rephrase it. When, as I've said, the community changed, their needs changed, they evolved, and Elsa didn't. She was doing the same thing she was doing from the beginning, and that was, she was trying to heal people. And even in her immobility, even in her consistency, she still ended up disappointing people. And it wasn't her fault, because she didn't change. She was still the faith healer that everyone knew. Is that other people changed, their expectations changed, and they expected her to continue providing what they needed. But she didn't change. It's that everyone else did. And it was odd that one of the things, and it made me realize that Elsa wasn't disappointing anybody. They were disappointing themselves. And it's the same for us. Like, most of the time, a lot of the things around us don't change. It's us who change. And then it's actually us who disappoint ourselves. Okay, next, you can do, and in this movie, in Elsa's consistency, even though she remained consistent, she kept on doing what she knew she could do. She do one thing, with all the good things that she has done for the community, she does one thing that didn't meet people's expectations, and all the good things she has done is wiped away. Same thing with us. There's a lot of people in our lives that would do all good things for us. They do one thing bad, all the good things is erased. All the good things are erased. We forget all about that, and we just concentrate on that one bad thing. Okay. Next, there was this saying where, I think it was better, I'm trying to get to the accurate sentence. It says, like, better 10 guilty men free than one innocent man jailed. Something like that. And with everything that's happening, and so that event happened here. People were on a witch hunt. They were on a witch hunt. And they were on a witch hunt because they were trying to make things better, like the society better. So they were trying to crack down on all the bad people. But because it was a mob, everyone was just trying to get to other people and make them pay for the wrongs that they have done. That innocent people were getting caught up in the crossfire. And some people would say, well, it's collateral damage. This is necessary. It's necessary for us to hurt people, innocent people, just so we could change the society. But is it? I have always thought that it is better to protect that one innocent man, even if there were 10 guilty men free. But now we're reversing it. We're saying this few collateral damage, especially in the cancel culture, how we don't discriminate anymore. Like, anybody that's being accused of something, even if they did something wrong like 15 years ago, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They did something, they just need to be canceled. And we just need to be a little bit more discerning. That we need to be a little bit more discerning. We need to look at people, how they have evolved, have they changed, have they grown, and of course they do need to be held accountable for what they have done. but some people deserve a second chance. Some people deserve a second chance. I think that's just what I'm trying to get at in this point. Okay. And then there's odd thing in the movie is that at the end of it all, those that ended up being happy are the ones who don't care. So they were so removed from all of these things, they did not care. So when everything went down, everything, they were just chill. they didn't care. Just remember this. I just read it this morning that Kanye actually had the baby, and Marilyn Manson, both the baby was called out for saying some homophobic remarks on stage, which at first he laughed off and then apologized for. And then Marilyn Manson is being accused by several women, 20 I think, or 12 women, for sexual misconduct and for abuse, including I think his ex-wife. And then he had them on stage, and I don't have a conclusion yet in my head, but is this Kanye saying that they deserve a second chance, or is this an entirely different statement altogether? Is this him saying we don't care about cancel culture? I don't know. So as I've said, I don't have any conclusion yet, but it's one of those two. It's either a statement to the cancel culture saying they don't care, or it's either him saying I support them and I think that they deserve a second chance. But regardless, I think in this movie, it was proven that those who didn't care about all of this chaos, they're the ones that ended up being happy. So there's bliss in not caring. Yeah, all these things are just as powerful as we allow them to be. And then last is that even the worst experiences can actually shape the best of us. In this movie, there are two people who experienced the same thing, and one triumphed over it, and then the other ended up in misery. And they just dealt with it differently. Actually, the one who triumphed over it had it worse. She had it worse. But because she dealt with it differently, she ended up being better. She had a better ending than the other person. And so I guess it's a testament on just how unique we are as individuals, that we all can share the same experience and take it differently. Take it differently and take something different out of it. Yeah, so those are some of the things that I thought are just those are aha moments for me when I was watching the movie. But I would like to recommend that you watch the movie. Unfortunately, it's only available on iTunes, so I hope that they will make it available in other streaming services like Netflix maybe, or Hulu, or Amazon Prime, or whatever, because it's such a great movie, and the world should not be deprived of it. I think it deserves to be shown to many people. Great acting, great directing, great narrative, and most especially, there's so much in there between the lines, so much messages, so much statements, so much depth that you will find in between the lines. And I do think that it will provoke you into wanting to become a better person once you watch the movie. That's how powerful it is. And watch it. iTunes, Himala.